Hello friends, in this video I am going to explain the functionality of Enterprise Web GIS portal. Along with that I will also explain the basic setup process so that you can install this application, configure it and make it successfully working in your working environment. So let us start with that. You can see over here on the screen, this is the first login page. So you can provide username and password, and once you click login it will log in into the system and it will provide the basic functionality. Now here the functionality that is available depends on the kind of user you have logged in. So there are admin, analyst, viewer, editor, different kind of users with which you can log in. So I'll show you how to configure all this thing. So let me first of all explain you the basic setup. So here first of all I am using a Postgres database. So you can see over here in Postgres, GIS is the database which I have created. In GIS there is a public schema, and in that public schema I am having various tables to store spatial database. So like building, city, district, road, states, and there is one more table which is a user table. You can see over here it is storing various admin, analyst, viewer and editor users. So this is the basic setup for database. So I am storing everything into the Postgres database. Now once spatial data is available in Postgres database, I am using GeoServer. So you can see over here this is a GeoServer. I hosted my GeoServer on localhost, so it is in my computer on 8085 port. So this is where I have configured my GeoServer, and you can see here in GeoServer there is only one workspace, that is GIS, and then there is a store, so that is also a GIS, and it is connecting to PostGIS where I have stored my spatial database. And on the layer side you can see I am having a couple of layers, so it is matching with the tables that we have in Postgres, India, building, city, district. So you can see over here all the layers, India, city, district, roads, states, all these layers that were available in Postgres are published through GeoServer, and all the layers are having different styles. So I have configured styles for all the layers. So you can see here styles from the GIS workspace, so India, city, district, so all the layers are styled accordingly. So now if I click on any of the layers and view it, it will have a particular style, labeling, so it is coming from the GeoServer styling. So this is related to GeoServer. Now to host the application and connect to the database, I have installed XAMPP. So let me show you that. So I have installed XAMPP. It provides me installation of Apache, SQL, Tomcat and PHP. So all environments are installed together as a part of a XAMPP. So I've used Apache for publishing my application. So now if your XAMPP is installed properly, you can just click localhost, and once I click that it will show that this kind of a initial web page, and it shows that Apache and MariaDB, PHP, Perl, everything has been installed properly. So this is the indication that your application XAMPP has been installed. Now once entire configuration is done, you have installed Postgres and migrated this data. Now you have also created a user table with various kind of roles and authorization. After that, once you have installed GeoServer and publish your data from the Postgres, then you should have XAMPP in which Apache should be running. So once this configuration is done, you are good to go with the using the application. So for that what you have to do is just go to C drive, go to the XAMPP folder, and in that you have htdocs folder. So you have to just copy and paste this Enterprise GIS folder. So I'll be sharing with you Enterprise GIS zip file. So you have to unzip that. Once you unzip that, you will have this folder. You just have to copy this folder into htdoc files of a XAMPP folder. So once you have placed this file, what you will be able to do is you will be able to write localhost / enterprise GIS index.html. So your application should be running like this. You should be able to see this login page. So this is a simple setup for my application. Now once you log in, you will be able to see various functions, various layers. So I'll show you from where this is coming. So I'm not going to provide this India boundaries and any data with my application. You will simply receive the code. You should have the data that is available into the Postgres, and that is published through the Geo server, right? So you should have your own data. As a part of this application, I'm not going to provide the data, so please take a note of that. But then how you will publish this data, I'll show you. This entire application works on a configuration file. So now let me take you to that configuration file. So this is a Visual Studio Code wherein I am developing the application, and if I show you this config file, you can see over here there are various configurations, right? So I'll start from the beginning. So here theme is black. So you can see over here this entire top side of toolbars and all the uh, layers information. Even if I click some attribute query, then this is the panel. All these things are coming in the black or shade of a black, because I have defined theme as a black. Now if I change it to say red, and if I save it, you can see just I have to refresh and everything will turn into red. So you can see now it is red. So it is based on my configuration file that is coming. For now I am keeping it black only. Let me just save it and I'll have to refresh here. So my application is having black theme. Now apart from that, I am giving some configuration for map view. So this is the center of the map. This is the zoom scale at which it should start and maximum zoom scale. So this will be applicable when I am just opening the map for the first time. So whenever I am clicking a home, or whenever I am just loading this application, let me just open it again. So localhost / Enterprise GIS index.html. So now when I log in and when I open it for the first time, so where the map will be centered, what will be the zoom scale, all those configurations are coming from here. So if I just change this latitude and longitude, or say XY coordinates, accordingly map will be zoomed to a different location. So for your area of interest, map requires some different center, so you just have to change it here only. Zoom scale and all those things you have to change here only. So you just have to work with a configuration file. Next configuration parameter is workspace. This is GIS, that is coming from the Geo server. You can see over here my workspace is the GIS workspace. So that is the name I have provided over here. It should be exactly matching with that. It is a case sensitive, so make sure you are giving a proper name. Apart from that, server configuration contains the IP on which my Geo server is installed. So it is localhost. This is the port on which Geo server is configured. So it is 8085, and this is just a combination of IP and port. So this is that parameter. Now layers. Now you can see over here, whenever I am opening my application, it has got admin boundary, land based layers and base layers. So from where these names are coming and which layer will become part of this group, it is defined over here in this layer configuration. So it is a base layer, land based layer, admin layer. You can even change this name. Where you will change, you can see over here layer group is one configuration parameter. So here I have specified base layers. For here I have specified land based layers. Here I have specified admin boundary. So it is coming from here, and accordingly it is appearing here: admin boundary, land based boundary and base layers. So this is where you have to change if at all you want to have a different name for the group layer. Now which layer will become part of that? So you can see world imagery, OpenStreetMap and none, blank layer will become part of this base layer. So you can see over here in base layer I have none, OpenStreetMap and world imagery. That is coming up from here, right? Similarly, roads, buildings and city are a part of a land based layer. So you can see roads, building and city are a part of a land based layer. So this is where it is defined. At the same time, which is the reference for this layer? So GIS colon India roads. This is the name coming from Geo server, you can see. So let me show you here. So in the layers, if I go to the layers, GIS India underscore road, IND underscore roads, this is the name defined in Geo server. Exactly the same name I have to provide here in the internal name. Similarly, buildings and cities. So that is coming from roads, buildings and city, and that is configured over here. I want to give title as a road or building or as a city. That is depends on me. I can define whatever title I want to give. They will be visible true initially, and then there are maximum and minimum zoom scale that I have defined over here. So this layer will be available from the 9th zoom scale, and it will be available up to 25 zoom scale. And then it is a tile layer. So I have two options, whether it is a tile or image. So you have to define. If you have done lot of labeling, then you should use the image, otherwise you should use a tile for the performance purpose, and then other parameters you can leave it blank. So this is how we have defined the layers. Similarly, district and state layers, I am giving the name district and state. They are visible, they are part of admin boundary, and I am giving the zoom scale of 6 to 12. It means that if I am having a district layer, it will be visible from the 6th zoom scale, and then it will be visible up to 12 only. So you can see over here, right now district layer is not visible, only state layer is visible. Now if I go further, if I zoom in, then particular layer will start appearing. You can see the blue boundary that is coming up at a particular scale because it is defined over here. District layer I should be able to see only from 6 to 12. So if I go even further, this blue boundary will disappear once it is crossing the 12th zoom level. You can see, yes, yeah. So now this blue boundary is disappearing because it is defined that it should appear up to 12 level only. So this is how I have defined which one layer. Now there is no limitation, you can add as many layers as you want. Only thing you have to ensure is that it should have a proper name matching with GeoServer. You can give anything for the title. You should define a particular layer group in which you want it to appear, and then max and min zoom scale. So if you do this thing configuration properly, your map will display excellently in this layers area. Apart from this, pages are for exporting map into the PDF, so you don't have to change anything over here. Now roles and users. Now what is role? If you define some user as a admin role, where it will be defined? It will be defined in PG admin. So if the role is admin, you can see over here that user will be able to see all the groups. So from where these groups are coming? Layer group, you can see the base layer, land base layer, admin boundary. So all these are layer groups, and from that it is coming over here. So you make sure that your layer group here is exactly matching with what you have defined over here, otherwise system will give you error. But then the idea here is that admin will be able to see this many layer groups, editor will be able to see this many layer groups. So every user based on the role will be able to see a particular layer group. It is defined over here. It is very simple. Only thing you have to ensure is if it is a land based layer, you should have some land based layers group, otherwise system will give you some error. So this is the role. It controls the visibility of the layer to a particular user. Now then let us go to the users. Now users controls what kind of application you will be able to see. So this is admin user. You can see over here in type you have admin, analyst, editor, viewer. You can define here admin should be able to see this many applications. So my entire application are this. So this is the entire list of application. So admin is able to see all these application, and these are the name. They are case sensitive, so you have to handle them properly. So if you want viewer to see some limited application, you can change it over here. If you want analyst to see some application, you can change it over here. I have defined them as per my understanding. You can change it. If you want to change, you can change it over here. Make sure that you are taking the exact name, right? So admin, viewer, analyst will have different set of application available to them. And this is the search functionality. So which layer you want to configure for search? So this is the name of the layer and which attribute. So you can configure. Right now I have defined 2 layers for search, and here the attribute that you want to search, it has to match. Like here I'll show you India underscore district, IND underscore district. It is coming from here. So IND underscore district. I don't require to provide this workspace name, only IND underscore district. and if I go to layers and ind_districts, you can see it has got attribute dist_name, state_name. So these two attributes are configured over here, dist_name, state_name for search. So you have to ensure that these names are perfectly matching, and then once you provide that, I am using two layers, district and city layers for search. For district, it will use district name and state name to search. For city, I am having only one attribute, so I have repeated that. So now once you have configured that, how you will benefit, if you go to GIS application and here if you just type RAJ, so any city or any district having RAJ in their name will start appearing in this manner. And once you click on that, if I click on a district Maharajganj, if I just click on that, it will zoom to that location. So this is the search configuration. It is working directly based on this configuration. This is the only thing you have to change and it will start working. So only two layers you can configure, only two attributes you can configure, that too from here, and it will behave accordingly. So isn't it beautiful? Everything is configurable. You just have to click on that and it will work. Search result will start appearing after you type three letters. So if I type just N, result will not appear, A, result will not appear, but if I type Nagar, then result will start appearing. And Gandhinagar, if I just click on that, you can see Gandhinagar. Even I can click on cities like Srinagar, so it will take me to that city location. So, and if I just clear that, this will disappear. So this is how it has been configured. So this is for search. So this is all about configurations. Once you configure this file properly, you don't have to do anything else. System will work perfectly fine. So now once we have seen the configuration part of it, let us check the functionalities, how they are working. So search we have already seen. If I type BAD, BAD, so all the district and cities having BAD in their name, Aurangabad, just click on that and then system will zoom to Aurangabad. There are two Aurangabads you can see over here. One is in Bihar, one is in Maharashtra. So there are two selections. Dhanbad, I can click on that. Even I can click on city. Say let me Ghaziabad. If I click on that, it will take me to that place. So this is the search functionality. Now this is the home. I just click on that and map will zoom to a particular extent. You can see this extent is defined over here. Central latitude, longitude, zoom scale, that is defined over here, and from that it is taking up. So this is how home is functioning. Now if I see the full screen, it makes my web application look very beautiful, just like any other desktop application. So this is a full screen. I just click on that again, so it will come back to a normal. This is a layers button, so I can just toggle the visibility of this layers panel. It is allowing me to switch on and off various layers, so I can do the toggling part over here. Now this is a new button which I have added. What is that? It allows me to add WMS layer. You can see over here. So here once I click on that, it will provide me the list of WMS layers that are published in my geo server. You can see over here in my geo server, if I go to layer preview, it is having 1 2 3 4 5 layers. So those 5 layers are available here. By chance we have added all those 5 layers over here, 1 2 3 4 5. So these are nothing but just a repetition of this layer. But if you have say 10 15 20 layers over here and you have only 5 layers on the map, you want to add some more layers, then you can just click this any of these layers. You can see for now I am clicking India states, although we already have state, but let me just add it. So you just have to click on any of the layer you want to add. I am clicking on India states and I'll just press add. So you can see map will zoom to the extent of India states and a layer will be added over here. Layer name will come from this title that is defined in geo server. Okay, title India ind_states. From there it is coming. So India states. Now if I close it, India state layer is added. So now even if I switch off this layer, India state is there because this is a new layer which I have added. Similarly, you can add n number of layers over here, right? So there is no limitation. So you just have to click this. A window will appear. It will have a list of layers published in geo server, and then you can add it over here. So this is a new thing which I have added. So now let me just refresh this map. So this is the add WMS layer. Okay, now this is a pen. It is a simple functionality. It is a basic GIS functionality. So it is working like this. Now this is zoom in. So I just zoom into a particular location. This is zoom out. So I can just zoom out using this button. Now this is a measure length, you can see. So you can just click on the map and you can measure the length. So you can see 317.19 kilometer. You can keep on measuring n number of lengths. There is no limitation. Once you are done with measuring, you just have to click this button again. So it will clear all the graphics. Just like length, you have measure area. So you can just keep on measuring the area that you want to measure. Just click on this to clear it. Now this is feature info button. This is the most popular functionality available in most of the GIS software. So you just click on that, click on the map area, and you can see you have layer, district name, state name. This is coming right from the database. So you can have n number of fields, and if you have more fields, it will start scrolling. And you can see over here, when I have clicked here, there are not only district feature, but there is one more feature. So it will appear like this, 1 out of 2. So once I click this arrow, it will show me that there is the state over here. It is a Madhya Pradesh state. So there are 2 different features. So I can just toggle between these 2. So isn't it beautiful? So I can identify the feature, not only single but multiple feature. So wherever I click in the Jaipur is highlighted on the map. It is showing me the details. Now if I click next, it is showing me the state, and highlight has been changed from district to state. And you can see I can just toggle very quickly between both the features, and it is showing on the map. To clear this thing, either I click outside and then this thing will be cleared, or just I have to click on this. So graphics will be cleared from the map. Now we will go to attribute query. Let me just click on the attribute query. So all the layers that are displayed over here in the from the configuration file will be available for the query. So now I can query, like I want to select all the district that is having dist name and containing, for example, Nagar. If I just fire this query, attribute table will be shown to containing list of the districts that is having Nagar in their name, and features will be highlighted on the map. So I can click on any of, say for example, Jamnagar, and it will take me to that location. Isn't it beautiful? So I can click on any location. You can see wherever I click, it will take me to that. So this is a attribute query. You can select any layer, any attribute. If you have some numeric attribute over here, this thing will change to numeric. You can see the operator. If you have string, then it will change to like and equal to. So it is intelligent that way. Now let me just clear this attribute query and let me take you to the spatial query. Now the most popular spatial queries are configured. Like let me show you again. Like I want to select all the districts that are intersecting a particular line marker. So let me just zoom out a bit and then draw a line marker on the map. So this is a line marker. Now all the districts here, they are in the blue color boundary, that are intersecting with line should be available to me in the attribute table. So isn't it beautiful, and it is performance wise it is very fast. You can see all the districts that are intersecting with this line. They are highlighted on the map and they are available in the attribute list. I can click any of this district, Bidar district, so it will zoom to that. I can click Adilabad and it will zoom to that location. So this is how spatial query is functioning. I can just clear that. So graphics and attribute will be cleared. Now apart from intersect, I can say within a distance. So I want to select all the districts. Let me select cities this time. So I want to select all the cities that are within a distance of say 100 kilometer. So 100 kilometer from my point marker. So let me just put up a point over here and let me just run that. Let me see, there are no data found. So let me just increase this thing, 500 kilometers. Then which are the cities? Let me just execute that. Marker I have not placed. So let me place the marker again and run that. So now you can see all the cities that are within 500 kilometer of my marker. They are selected on the maps. Now if I just switch off the district, you can see clearly these markers, and now I can click any of the city and you can see Gulbarga city and then Latur city, so it will be available on the map, and then they are within the 500 kilometer from my marker location, from my area of interest. You can see over here, even I can switch off this, so you can see these are the cities within 500 kilometer. So this is how it is working within a distance, intersecting completely within, everything is working perfectly fine. Let me just clear these things. So this is spatial query. Now I can download the map. So let me zoom to full extent, and now if I just click on the download map, it will download it like this. If I open that file, you can see that a beautiful map is downloaded. I can just zoom in and zoom out. So this is how. Now you have the opportunity to add neat line, north arrow, legend, but I have not added that as of now, but we can add it in future. And now the most important thing, that is editing. So now you can see this web application is having editing capability. So if I zoom into a particular area, I have configured that. Now right now if you click, it is asking me select the editing layer in the settings. So this is the setting button. So I want to edit buildings, so I close that. So setting I have done, but still it will not happen. It is saying that you should be at a zoom scale of 1000. So here you can see the zoom scale is 5 lakh. I don't want to do editing at this scale, so I have configured it that it should be 1000. It can be changed as per requirement. Now I am here at a zoom scale of 826, so I think it should allow me. Now you can see once I do start editing, you can see my setting layer is building, and once I do start editing, it will highlight all the buildings that are available in my area of interest, in my view area. So it indicates that now this layer is available for editing. If I do stop editing, that highlight will go away. If I click start editing, again the feature will be highlighted based on the settings layer, right? Now I can do 4 basic functions: add feature, modify feature, delete feature, and modify attributes. So let us see one by one. So I am clicking on add feature, and now I can add a feature, and you can see it is snapping. So snapping is also configured. I just have to double click. So a feature has been shown on the map, and you can edit the attribute as well. So I'll call it home 2, and I'll call it is a type of resident. So I'll type it in a short form and I'll save it. Once I save it, it will give a confirmation message, record has been added successfully. Now it can allow me to add some more features as per the requirement. Just double click, I'll say home 3, and then again it is a residential. I'll save it. So similarly I can add as many records as per my requirement. So you can see over here like features have been added. Now I'm done with editing features, so I have completed that. Now let me see if it is really working. So I'll do stop editing, and then I'll use this feature info button, and when I click it, you can see home 3 and residential, it is coming from the database. So it gives me the confirmation that whatever editing I have done, it has gone into my database. So this is home 2, home 3, another taste 003, home 20, bungalow. So all this information is coming from the database. These are the 2 features which we have added recently. Let me just clear this thing. Let me do some more editing, modify features. So let me modify that. So I have to select the feature I want to modify. This is the feature. Now I want to make it bigger. So I have modified the extent of this feature. This is the big bungalow. So I have done with the editing. I'll keep the attribute same, or even I can change the attribute residential, whatever, and then I'll just save. So data has been updated. You can see the confirmation message. Now if I just close my modify functionality, and if I do stop editing, you can see once I zoom in and zoom out, you can see the latest tiles are updated based on my editing. So this building feature has been updated as per my editing functionality. So modify feature we have seen, we can delete the feature. I can just click on that. I can select any feature to delete. It is showing me the attribute and highlighted feature on the map. Now if I want to delete, I'll just type this, I'll just click on the save. If I just want to cancel, I'll cancel it, so nothing will delete. Let me select that and I'll say save. Record has been updated, so this feature has been deleted, and you can see now it is not highlighted, it is not a part of editing functionality. So I'll just click this to complete editing functionality, and you can see the tiles are updating to show that this particular building is no more available into the database. If I do stop editing, you can see only this many buildings are available. If I do start editing 1000 scale, I'll go to 1000, start editing, and then this is old tile that is coming from the database. This tile has to be updated, so if I do zoom in and zoom out couple of times, these tiles will be updated into the database. Now a modify attribute, we have seen already modify feature, it is similar to that. I can just click on edit feature, I select the feature that I want to modify, but here in this modify attribute I can only modify the attributes over here, not the shape. So I can change residential and then I'll save it. So record has been updated. Now let us check whether it has been updated. So if I click feature info and if I click this, it is residential. So it has been updated. So this is how editing functionalities are working. Now we have seen almost all the functionalities. Now let me just log out. For time being, you just keep a note that this is the admin user, and you can see all the map download, spatial query, editing functionality. Now I'm logging out from the admin user and I'll log in as a viewer user. Viewer user is having very limited functionality, very limited layers. So if I log in now, you can see over here there are limited functionality. It is not having attribute query, spatial query, editing, download map. It is not there, only few functionality, but it is having all the layers, right? So this is a viewer. Now if I log out and if I log in with analysis, so it will be able to do attribute query and spatial query but no editing. So let us try and check with analyst. So you can see attribute query, spatial query, but no editing functionality. So this is how, and it is not having base layers also. So this is how layers are controlled, this is how applications are controlled based on the user login, and from where it is being controlled, only through the configuration file. So isn't it fantastic to have such a control over the entire system with a simple configuration file? So I hope once you are able to install Postgres, then you are able to configure GeoServer. Once you have XAMPP in place, if everything is in place, then this GIS portal should work excellently for you. I hope you are able to follow. If you find any issue in configuring all this thing, I'll be able to help you. Thank you for now. Have a great day.